Good morning and welcome back to day 5. Are we on day 5 of JanuDAILY? I'm enjoying myself so much, so I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. I realize nobody's probably gonna watch these, but the purpose was for me and I feel like it's doing the trick. So that makes me very happy. I am very quickly going to do a little bit of makeup, and I just finished doing my lashes, which as I was doing them, I was like, I probably should have recorded this. I do have another video where I share how I do my lashes, but it's changed a little bit. But I just use like these very subtle lash extensions, and I feel like I've figured out finally like the perfect combination of things that get them to really last and that they don't, like I'm not constantly thinking about them. Like I feel like in the past I was constantly worrying about whether or not I was gonna lose a lash or not. And as I was going to bed last night, I even was like, it's time. Like just based on the calendar, I should probably change my lashes, but it was not at a point yet where I felt like I needed to. So I feel like that shares like a bit of an improvement, but I will share them at some point, I guess, during this month. So I generally wear them for about 5 to 7 days. So there will be another time that I share my lashes. I also don't think I've addressed this. I think the camera is very kind and it has healed up pretty nicely, but do you see this right here? That started as a pretty significant gash on my face. Thank God for castor oil and coconut oil and moisturizers and ice, because Lord have mercy, was it super painful. I also, it doesn't show, but I'm very like tender still right here. What happened? The hood of my car, I swear it was a situation where the universe was just like, let's add insult to injury. I had a really sad, emotional day. It was pouring down rain. I'm driving the 40 minutes back to my house from where my mom lives, and my oil, like low oil notification comes up on my car, which is apparently very normal for the type of car I drive, which is kind of annoying. But I was like, you know what? I don't like to take chances with that. I probably could have made it home, but I keep oil in my car for this very reason. I pulled over in a random neighborhood to put oil in my car. And while I am pouring the oil into my engine, the hood of, in the pouring rain, let's set the scene. In the pouring rain, pouring oil into my vehicle, the hood of my car falls on my face. I was terrified, if I'm being honest, to look in the visor mirror when I got back in the car, because I was certain that I'd just be covered in blood. I wasn't, thank goodness, but I tell you what, that was real painful. That was pretty painful. And I don't think that it's very noticeable because, like I said, this camera is super forgiving, which is nice. But anyway, I'm actually not even really sure why I'm getting ready, except I've thankfully started the habit of getting ready for the most part. Not always makeup, but like, I feel like I finally kick-started back into getting at least like dressed most days. I say that, and did I get dressed yesterday? No. Did I also nap a significant portion of yesterday? Also, yes. I think my body, again, is just like recovering from life at the moment, and so giving myself grace where that is necessary. But I'm getting ready. My kiddo is out to breakfast, and I am going to go meet a friend for a really, really long walk. Again, do I need to be putting makeup on for that? No, but we're going into town, and so I imagine I'm gonna end up staying in town after I walk. And so, I don't know, I just feel like I wanna be ready for it. I don't wear a ton of makeup, so it's not like I'm slathering on, you know, like I'm not putting like pageant makeup on. Just adding a bit of life to my face, because like I said, I'm basically recovering from life at the moment, and that apparently requires a lot more sleep than I generally require. And it's interesting because, like I said the other day, did I say this in a vlog? We're dropping my kid's nap. I said yesterday, I was like, I think I'm just taking his nap now, but maybe I'll make it through today without a nap. We'll see. Again, today is also my very last day of like real vacation before I return back to real life tomorrow. It's been really nice to have some time off for the holidays, and I'm always just really grateful that I work for the type of companies that still believe in Christmas breaks, because that was one thing, like when I was graduating college, I was like, oh my God, we don't get Christmas breaks anymore. And I just don't think we're meant to be be like productive humans during that time of the season. I really just don't. I really think it's important that we like spend time with family and kind of go into hibernate mode. I feel like there's really some value to that, and I wish more companies recognized that. But anyway, I have plans today to make a digital vision board. And so because of that, I've been doing a lot of thinking about what my goals look like for the year. And I've been a little bit stuck on that. And it finally like came screaming into focus this morning for me when I was really like sitting at my computer trying to think of like my goals. And I don't want to say that I don't have goals for this year, because I absolutely do. But my goals this year have more to do with doing than accomplishing. And I know I mentioned this in my video about like things that I've learned over the years, but like I want to focus more on doing the things versus and feeling the things versus seeing certain numbers or accomplishing certain things. And I think I really want to lean into that idea of like slowing down and experiencing. Like I almost feel like I want this year to be all about designing my experience of my life rather than just experiencing the things that come at me as if I have zero control over any of the things. I almost feel like for the last couple of years, I've been living in a state of allowing my emotions to be hijacked by the circumstances of my life. And I want to be opposite of that. Like I want the opposite of that. I want my emotions and how I feel to sort of draw in the experiences of my life. And I just want to be better about staying present in the moment and being more intentional with what I'm letting into my space, what I'm removing from my space, and what I'm allowing myself the space and time to focus on and do, and just kind of really almost minimizing things. So as we get into the digital vision board, I'm sure I will elaborate a little bit more on what that is actually going to look like for me this year, but I thought that would be a fun little project for us to do together. And yeah, so I'm gonna very quickly finish doing my makeup, and then we are probably gonna have to super bundle up because it is a wee bit chilly outside. I am going to very quickly finish up here, and I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. I know people that get real winter are laughing at me right now because I am like full-blown bundled up to go on a walk in 35-degree weather. But like I said, we fluctuate between like 75 and 30s, and I'm not built for that. I did quickly want to share the removing of the Wonder Skin because I did get some questions about it. I shared this in a video like several videos back, like sometime last year, and I got a couple of like DMs about it, but I never did anything to like reveal it. So this is the shade Lovely. It's the one that I use when I'm not like really not doing anything. I have very naturally pale lips, so I like it just because it adds a little bit of life to my skin, but I already put it on. I've left it on longer than you're supposed to just because I figured I'd leave it on while I was getting dressed, but it will start to like crack if you leave it on too long. I just have little like disposable washcloth with a little bit of water on it, and it comes right off. And if I like wanted to build it up, I would do 2 coats, but I'm not going to today because like I said, I'm really just going on a walk. That's literally my only plan for right now. So no need to go all out. And now I'm just using some lanolin, which is actually nipple cream from when I was supposed to be breastfeeding when I had my son. It actually makes a really awesome lip balm. I don't want to end up with really badly chapped lips. Okay, here is what we are working with. I generally feed her at around 11:30, 12. It's currently 10 now, so I feel like if I waited a little longer, she would expand even more, but I can see here that she rose up quite a bit overnight and then deflated again. So I would say she is very active. I'm very proud. And something I've noticed today, I smelled it yesterday and it smelled real gross, like fermentation. Today, she actually smells like sourdough. So I feel like we are headed in the right direction, and coming off of a year that I feel like everything I did, I had to do twice because it just didn't work the first time. This is really reassuring. And like I said in yesterday's video, silly, not important, but it is just helping my insides, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and feed her and get the dogs set up and head on over to meet my friend, and I'll check in a little while later. Can you guys hear that? I feel like you're only gonna be able to hear Paw Patrol in the background, but it's sleeting right now, which is very unusual for where I live, and it's exceptionally cozy. I've got my little dude right here because truth is, if I'm sat at this desk, he's never very far away. And I thought it was a good time to sit down and actually create my digital vision board. Now, before we get started, my vision board is going to be a little bit different this year because I'm giving myself permission to just do the work and not be so attached to an outcome, because I've since learned I know the results come from doing the work, but when I get too attached to an outcome, somehow or another, I end up self-sabotaging. And I don't want to do that this year. I just want to do the things that I know if I do repeatedly will result in the desired outcome I'm looking for. And so if you are like highly driven and looking for like very quantifiable goals, my vision board is probably going to look a little different than yours will, but the process can all be the same. You might be wondering why a digital one and not like sitting down with paper and magazine cutouts and things like that. One, I just don't have those things, and I don't really feel like going and buying a bunch of magazines or finding a bunch of magazines, and I don't honestly have the time to flip through them. I do believe in the value and power of that process, and I also, just like I believe in the handwritten word, I also believe in just doing and making with our hands. But we are in a digital world now, and we have the resources available to us that the option is to not do it or do it digitally. I'm gonna do it digitally. So we are gonna be working in Canva today. I will go ahead and share my screen with you. And as I'm working through what I'm adding to my vision board, I will elaborate a little bit on what the images mean to me. It is important that you are not just slapping up random images, and that they actually are attached to something that means something to you. And I think I've done a decent job of doing that this time. You'll also notice that my board will be a little bit minimal. It's all in the vein of what I didn't even realize was essentially going to be the theme for this year, which was just to slow down and be intentional about what I'm focusing on, rather than spreading myself so thin that I end up not really accomplishing a whole lot of anything other than being burnt out and miserable. So let's just go ahead and jump into Canva and get started. Okay, so for my vision board, I went ahead and scoured the internet for pictures of essentially the goals that I have in mind, the things that I have written down about the things I want to focus on for the year, and grabbed pictures and images and stickers and things like that that represent what I'm looking to accomplish. And I went ahead and added them to a folder in my Canva. So that's what you're seeing here is my collection of photos. And I think the first thing that I want to get started with is the side of my board that's going to be about how I want to feel and what I want to like put out into the world and what I want to receive back from the world. And so I'm going to grab this image here first, and I'm going to break it down just a little. And that's the thing I love about doing this in Canva, is that I can kind of manipulate the images to make the collage, the finished product, look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing without having to just then continue to add things just to fill up space when they don't really actually mean anything to me. So this first image here is about releasing and letting go and just being free. Let my mind be free, let my heart be free. 2024 was a very heavy year, and I carried a lot of really heavy things around, and I want to feel like I can breathe. And so that's what that image represents for me. Additionally, I want to feel connected and like I have a good set of good girlfriends that I can just laugh with, and I love in a way that just brings like a deep satisfaction and like an all-knowing sense of love. Okay, and then we get into like the things that I want to put out into the world, which is I want to be, and that's kind of what this whole channel is for me. I'm going to remove the background on this, is that I want to be the reason. Like I want to provide the kind of content that people are inspired by, that they feel seen by, that they feel loved by and supported. And then I also just want to remember to be the light. So let's go ahead and remove the background on this. And I'm going to put this somewhere eventually, but we're going to put that there right now. Okay, and then the other thing is things that I want to experience this year is I would love to find myself hiking on a mountain somewhere. We live pretty close to the mountains and pretty close to the beach. And so it's a shame that we don't make it more of a priority to do both. And the other thing is, because we live close to the beach, I would also love to have a lovely beach vacation at some point this year. Again, you might be thinking, Joey, these are not aspirational things. And for some people, they are not. But considering how my life has looked lately, it feels aspirational. And it feels like something that I just haven't done a very good job of making a point of as of lately. And then the other thing that I'm going to add here is a picture of pouring into a cup. And you might be thinking, okay, are you gonna make a lot of tea? Not the plan. The plan is to be sure that as much as I'm pouring into others, that I'm also pouring into myself. And right now, I think I know what those things look like. They look like being active and training with weights and getting strong. And it looks like going for walks and let's see, let's maybe make that a little bigger. It looks like going for walks, which is something I definitely want to make more of a priority this year, especially just being grateful for the fact that my body can move, because last year it was a struggle. And it also looks like creating a sanctuary of a space in my master bedroom, which we've lived in this house for about 4 years now, and we have not really done much to our master, and I would like to. I would like to just go ahead and make that a bit more of a sanctuary type of space. We have like a very moody vibe back there. Let's see, I think this might need to move over a smidge. This can come down so we can see that. Okay. We are going to get into some career goals, which for me is a little bit tricky. However, some things that I would like to accomplish this year are, I would love to hit 5,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Now, this might look like a screenshot. It is not actually a screenshot. It is a screenshot of my channel that I have gone in and manipulated into what I want it to represent by the end of the year. This is likely one of my most aspirational goals, because if you know anything right now, I think my channel is sitting at like 265 subscribers. So we're ways away from 5,000, but again, just with the idea of being focused and paying attention to the things that actually matter to me, this is just something that I do think I can at least inch my way towards, and I could draw it into me. You never know when you're gonna have that viral video, or if a video is just going to resonate with a lot of people and just find the right audience. And I have hope that that's gonna happen this year. And mostly because I want to connect and reach the right people that need the kind of content that I'm putting out there, because it's definitely the kind of content I needed at some point and still need, actually, to be honest. The other thing that I would like to do, I'm gonna remove the background on this, is I would like to complete my 3rd manuscript, and also at the same time, I would like to finish another manuscript. So truthfully, I would like to do this twice. So we're gonna add one there, and we're gonna add one maybe here. Additionally, this one's uncomfortable for me because I don't really know, you know what? No, I'm just gonna say it. I would like to query for an agent with not my third book, but the fourth book I have planned. And I already have the book outlined. It's very different than what I've published in the past. And if there were one to get me an agent, I think it would be the one. And I've never really allowed myself to go in that direction because it felt like something I didn't deserve. And I don't know that that's so true anymore. Additionally, with this next book that I'm publishing, which will be out some point this year, I can't even tell you when it will be out because it was supposed to be coming out in February. Obviously, I had to pull back on it because of life happening. I would like to schedule myself a mini book tour, and it's just something I've always wanted to do. It won't be anything crazy major. It won't be anything life altering. It's likely going to be places that I can just drive my little car to, probably going to be in areas where I already have somebody that I know and love, and if nothing else, they will show up because it's really nerve-wracking to think that I could potentially be doing something where I'm going to be looking at a crowd full of 0 people. That'll just kill you. But that is something I want to do with this next release. And additionally, I would love to have a book launch party with my next book. Again, nothing crazy, nothing major, but not anything I've ever allowed myself to do before. I've never really celebrated any of my book launches. Yes, baby? I've never really celebrated my book launches in the past. I did have a friend, thank goodness, when Yeah Maybe was published. Okay, let's try that again. I've never really celebrated any of my book launches in the past. I did have a friend who surprised me with like a little celebration just with us. We were all gonna like meet up and hang out for an afternoon, and she had like champagne and everything and a little cake. And then my family also had like a lovely little cake when I published Yeah Maybe, but I didn't really do any of that for not so much. And you know what? Completing a book is something to be celebrated, and I feel like I just need to do a better job of making a bigger deal about those types of accomplishments. And then I do think this might be my last thing. Let me see. Oh, I did have this picture, which represented maybe going on like a little retreat, possibly with my my little mom friend group, which, where can we put this? I feel I'm gonna have to make this really small. Maybe I can put it right here. So this is why I love Canva, is because you can just manipulate it to be the size that works. And then the last thing I have, which is kind of silly, but it's a image of a sourdough bread that's really pretty. And this is just to kind of represent giving myself the permission to kind of keep challenging myself in the kitchen, but also continue to like chase the tiny joys that seem silly and unimportant. And right now that's sourdough. Sometimes it's crocheting, other times it's something else. And it's just sort of to give myself the permission to, like the cup pouring in, just like to continue to pour into myself and the things that bring me joy. So to recap, let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Okay, so the biggest like goals that I have for this year are to focus on YouTube and really grow this community here, to finish writing the third book in the Yeah Maybe series and publish that and release that book, and have like a little book party for it and book a little mini tour where I'll have a few little stops where I'll do a reading and do a signing, and additionally to finish my fourth manuscript and use that to query for an agent. Everything else on this list is all about how I want to feel and how I want to design my physical space, but also my emotional environment, about the people that I have surrounding me and things that I let in, the things that I radiate out. And I'm really happy with this vision board. And again, doing it in Canva takes like what, 5 minutes? How long was that? Let's see. Okay, it was 13 minutes, and half of that was me chasing after a toddler who was trying to tackle a cat. So not very long to do in Canva at all. And I have the pro version, which is what allowed me to like remove backgrounds and stuff like this, but everything can be done in the free version of Canva as well. So like you don't necessarily have to have the option to remove backgrounds or any of those fancy features. Oh, I left one thing off. Oh, hold on. You're not gonna see this because I'm not screen recording anymore, but I did have an image of, I'll insert a finalized clip of the vision board here. I am adding a picture of a manicure, and basically I want that to represent getting really good at doing at-home Gel X manicures, which I've only done one. This is my first one ever. Here we go. It's my first one ever. I have a lot to learn, definitely a lot to learn. But again, it was only my first one, so I'm not mad at my first results. So that's it for the vision board. And yeah, I feel like everything you need to know about me as a person can be summarized by the fact that it is currently 6:40 and I'm getting ready to take my shower, get in my pajamas, and go crawl into bed and read a book for a little while before I'm probably gonna be passed out by like 7:45, 8 o'clock. To be fair, I wake up very early and my days are usually very full. Thank you again for hanging out with me. I'm really enjoying this, like I said earlier, and if this content resonated with you at all, or you just think we're the kind of people that could be friends with one another, please go ahead and subscribe, like the video, leave me a comment down below, and let me know like one of your goals for 2025, or like what's something you want to put on your vision board. And I will see you guys all again tomorrow. Bye.